Welcome to the Launch Capsule. With your host, James DuBos. Buckle up because your launch capsule begins now.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey there, this is Jim DuBos, and welcome to this episode of the Launch Capsule. Today's episode is focusing on AI and automation. It's the final episode in this AI and automation framework. Now we're going to talk about your digital chief operating officer, basically building a business that runs itself, or certainly runs a lot of itself. The goal is to show you how AI and automation tools can become your operational leadership layer, a digital COO, so your business runs more smoothly without you as the founder in the center. Founders don't burn out because they work too hard. They burn out because they manage too much. You don't need a person to run ops. You need a system that runs ops. So think about it this way. In the earlier 3D framework, we talked about delegation. When you delegate to people, you're scaling in a linear way, which means I have an associated human resource expense to execute that task. When you delegate to a system, you create scale exponentially because a machine can process repeatable tasks over and over. So the digital COO is handling routing, reporting, and accountability so that you as the founder can lead and not manage. So let's talk specifically about what does a digital COO do? It route tasks automatically. Inbound lead assigned to available rep in ClickUp. Tracks accountability in real time. Now you have team dashboards who shows who's behind, who's overloaded, who's stuck, etc. It's also going to send smart alerts, things like AI flags. You have an overdue onboarding task before the client churns out, as an example. If you think about the tools that we've talked about in previous episodes, I want to go again and walk through a few. ClickUp for task routing and I'll say an operational control tower. It can assign tasks by workload. You can have an SOP-driven template for repeatable work. You can have Gantt views for projects and workload reports and team capacity. So fundamentally, ClickUp is running the day. You just check to see if anything's in trouble. Let's say Make or Zapier is really the automation glue that you could leverage inside of the business. It can connect forms, CRMs, task tools, and email. You can build triggers based upon behavior. Deal one triggers an onboarding task to be created. So then every handoff is automated with no dropped balls. Another tool is Slack plus Slack AI. Communication plus smart summaries. So you have channels now that are focused on internal updates, AI to generate risk review, potential delays, and key updates. And so the reality is you should be thinking about your communication tool in that if it's not in Slack, it didn't happen, and AI is going to tell you where it matters and why it matters. Number 4 is OpsGenie or maybe PagerDuty. And this is really a way to generate escalation and alert management. You want alerts for critical failures or high-risk scenarios, on-call rotations, and auto-escalation. So only the critical alerts get to you as the founder. The system handles the rest. Number 5, delegated dashboards, visibility without meetings, real-time KPIs by role or department. Forecast versus actual tracking. So you're going to build a mentality of leading from dashboards, not inboxes. Number 6 is Trainual. Trainual's SOP and asynchronous onboarding. It allows you to build role-specific training playbooks. You can use Loom for integration for visual SOPs and ultimately build tests and quizzes to reinforce the learning around the SOP. So some sample SOPs that you could document would be sales, might be an inbound demo workflow, or ops, a KPI escalation process, customer service, renewal playbook for key accounts, finance and admin, monthly expense reconciliation, HR, a hiring and onboarding checklist. Again, a mentality would be that if it's not in Trainual, it doesn't exist. It's ultimately how you're going to clone and build repeatability. And so the proof of value for you as a founder is you don't want to open your inbox. You want to open your dashboards because systems don't go to sleep. They don't forget and they don't burn out. And so remember, the digital COO isn't about scaling for hiring more people to think for you. You need to scale by building systems that act like you would have acted. Replace yourself as a founder with a system, not a person. If your business can run through dashboards and alerts, you're building something that can scale without you and can be exited with confidence. If you want help mapping your automation plan to exit, apply for a free consult at DuBos.me. Have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you on the next episode.
That's a wrap for today's episode of The Launch Capsule. With your host and mentor to success, James DuBos. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and share.